Okay guys, I figured I would document the actual process of packing, since like when you have 4 dogs it's kind of a lot. When you have 4 dogs it's kind of a lot to pack for. So this is what I have Robin. So this is what I have so far. Keep in mind that like I just started and remembered that I should probably document this. So the way it's going to be set up is the girls are going to be back here, and then I'll have Wesley in the front seat, and I will show you how I'm going to do that comfortably for him in just a moment. Okay, so this is so far what I have. I have their raw food, their vitamins are in there, like their bone broth and everything's in the Yeti. I have their Tundra, their dog bed, their setup. Down here is something for my aunt, but I'm gonna put 2 bowls over here and then 2 bowls on the other side. Leashes and collars behind that other one. So this is how I make Wesley's bed. I basically put my clothes in duffel bag. Like this is all of my clothes. This is all I'm bringing for 10 days. Like makeup, clothes, everything, toiletries for 10 days. And then I put my backpack here so that that gives him a little extra like oomph. And then I have a seat cover for the seat, and then I put blankets and a roll-up dog bed. Okay, so I wanted to mention these. Sorry, mine are a little dirty because I didn't have time to wash them after I got them out of the old car, because literally I just got this car and I have to go. But anyways, I wanted to mention these because I have really bad dogs. Like you can kind of see the scratches and like the slobber and stuff, and like, you know, it's nasty. And it protects these doors because on my first car ever, I had nothing here and it was scratched to all hell. I wish I had pictures of it. But then I have that one. And then I have one on this side too. I think I got them on Amazon, and I'll try and find them and link them below. But they honestly really help out. And then I got this years ago, like literally like 4 years ago. I got this from TJ Maxx or Marshalls or something like that, and it's literally like a Sherpa type cloth, and it catches the dog hair, and then it has like a little snap here if you need to snap it. And I've used this for Wesley since as long as I can remember, and it works wonders. Like my leather used to get torn up, and this is like the only way to go if you have a front seat riding dog. So then what I'll do is I'll just like put the seatbelt across so that his fat ass doesn't set the seatbelt alarm off the whole time up there. But anywho, this thing is like a lifesaver. If you can find one, if I can find one on Amazon, I'll link it. Okay, so it is 3:30 in the morning because I'm that girl when I go on a vacation. have the navigation set up. I have 12 hours and 39 minutes to go, but I think it's not gonna take me that long. Usually it's only like a 12-hour drive exactly, so I should be good. But I have the 3 girls back there. There's Robin, there's Dixie, and then I think Harlow's back there a little bit further, and then Wesley's up front. You ready to go to Tennessee? We're gonna go to Tennessee. Anyways, so I will check in as we stop, but I am off, so wish me luck. And welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. My name is Laura and this is Dogs of Our Lives. I run this YouTube channel. I have 4 rabbits, 6 dogs, and 4 cats. All of them are rescues in one way, shape, or form, and we just have a lot of fun here, so I'd like to see you stick around. I, in my last video, mentioned that I had a couple videos coming up, one being the Green Valley Pride update video, and the second video that I wanted to get out was the footage from my Tennessee trip. So if you didn't see the last video, you should go see it. It's really cool. It just catches you up on my life and like how I got into a car accident with all 4 of my dogs and how that went and stuff. So I went to Tennessee and I spent time with my aunt, and we went hiking on a couple trails, and I'm just gonna insert the footage and tell you all about the places we went. So the first place we went is called Long Hunter State Park. I think it's a state park. This is the place that we went most often. So we actually went to Long Hunter, I think maybe 4 times while I was there. And Long Hunter is a huge trail that runs, it's like 3 miles long, and it goes around a huge lake that they have there. And the cool thing about it was that at different spots you could take the dogs where they could go swimming, and you could like let them off the leash to go cool off and stuff. So we didn't really have to worry about having water with us, although I did carry water just in case, because the first time we went I didn't know if they could make it the whole way just off of the water that they could get every now and then. We saw deer here, as well as a couple other little creatures. Like we saw some fish, we saw just a plethora of animals at Long Hunter, and we had a lot of fun here. However, this was pretty challenging for me, and the dogs too, because most of the trail was walking on limestone, and it was very uneven, and the dogs did fine, but they were exhausted afterwards because it was a lot of up and down, and we are flatlanders. We live in Florida, and I think the only hill my dogs have seen is like a bridge that I used to run, and at that only 3 of them have seen the bridge because I didn't have Robin at that point in time, and I think Harlow only went over the bridge once. Anyways, we never see hills here, and so their body was not used to A, having to go up and down, B, the altitude that we were at, because like Tennessee isn't that high above sea level, but we're at sea level here, and we don't really, like, that altitude is hard for us. Besides any of that, having to keep your balance, like the paw strength and the foot strength and the ankle strength that you have to keep your balance on that uneven surface is a lot. So the first time we did it, the dogs were exhausted. It was like the first day that I was there, they were just blatantly exhausted. Then the second day that I was there, we actually decided to go on, it's called like a greenway, and it's a massive trail. When I say massive, I'm talking about like, I think it's like a 10-mile trail. I don't know. It's huge. It's a huge trail, and you can walk on it, you can run on it, you can bike, and you can also bring dogs. So the first day that we were there, we took the dogs and we went across a bridge that took you, I think, across the Cumberland River. Again, I'm really bad with geography and like just maps in general, so I think it was the Cumberland River. I could be wrong, but we did take like a bridge across the river, and then we walked on that trail for about 1.5 miles and then turned around and came back. So that was about a 3-mile hike. That one wasn't near as fun. We didn't see as many animals. Like at Long Hunter we did see deer. Unfortunately I didn't get any video of that because I was focusing on getting my dogs to not chase it. But at Long Hunter we saw deer I think every time that we went. It was also like more of an urban environment. It was, you know, paved and pretty. It wasn't like a trail hike. It was like what you would see a trail in Florida. So that was Tuesday. Then Wednesday, Kimmy and I decided that initially when I went up there, I really wanted to go to a waterfall. And there was this one waterfall that I wanted to go to where you could swim in the gorge area. And it was supposed to be super, super cool. And everybody said it was an awesome experience and that you could bring your dogs to go hiking and then you could swim in the gorge. And so it was gonna be an awesome thing. So when I looked up, I think it was called Great Falls. I'll insert whatever it was actually called somewhere on the screen. But when we looked up their hours and openings and stuff like that, the gorge was actually closed, and my aunt said that it was because a kid drowned there. I don't know the full details, but apparently the family may have been suing the park or something like that. It was a huge deal, and so the gorge is closed until otherwise noted, I guess. Like, they don't have an opening date. So with that, we were looking at other really, really cool waterfalls that were pretty and kind of touristy for us to go to. We decided to go to Rock Island State Park, and let me tell you, this is by far the coolest experience I've ever had with my dogs. Like, I've done some stuff with the dogs, but Rock Island, it tramples anything that you could think of. So when we went to Rock Island, there were a bunch of different trails. There's a trail that takes you to where the first settlers settled, and you can actually see their grave. Like, they have like a little cemetery set up, and it's got like you can look at their gravestones. I took tons of footage of this because I thought it was just so cool. And then on that same trail you could see they had piping, and they had an old car that had just been there, and they didn't move it, so they just put the pieces back together, and it had kind of disintegrated, so you can see the shape of the car, but if you didn't know it was a car, then like if it was just laying there, you wouldn't have known it was a car. So they had that all put together, and that was from the settlers. It was just like such a cool experience. There was a foundation to a schoolhouse, there was a foundation to a church. It was just so very cool. So we kept walking on that, and I think that was about 3-ish miles. So then after that, we were like, I thought there was a waterfall on that one, so we got lost and there wasn't a waterfall. We kept saying, oh my gosh, I hear water, oh my gosh, I hear water. Joke's on us, 3 miles later, still no water. So the dogs are hot and tired, so we end up actually going to the like tourist center because that's who we are, and I got a cool t-shirt. But we went to the tourist center, and she completely explained that they also had a gorge we could swim in, and stay tuned for that whole fiasco. But they said that they had a gorge that we could swim in, and it was at the Great Falls. So we actually were talking to her. She was like, okay, the Great Falls is where you want to go if you want to swim. It's a pretty strenuous hike, but if you want to swim, go to that one. And I said, okay. She said, but if you want to see like the prettiest waterfall, go to Twin Falls. Like, it's gorgeous. And I was like, okay, like whatever. Like, I didn't look up pictures of these things, so I didn't know what to expect. So they're pretty far from each other. They're like on the road because you had to drive from each trail. I think that they were about 2 or 3 miles from each other, so it was a decent drive. I mean, our state parks aren't that big. So we drove to Twin Falls first because we figured that we would do that, and then they had a short trail as well, and that trail was supposed to be about, I think that trail was supposed to be like 2 miles, but it was very, very strenuous. Like, that was supposed to be like the most strenuous trail. So at first we were like, I don't know if Dixie can make it, but we ended up doing it anyway. So I have footage of the Twin Falls, which is incredible. Like, just hearing the sound of like me walking without the dogs. I left the dogs in the car so that I could just enjoy seeing the Twin Falls for the first time. And I'll just not put any voiceover or any sound over the falls so that you can actually hear what I heard coming around the parking lot. So once we had like appreciated the falls, we decided that we would go get the dogs and we would walk them on the strenuous hike. And it went well. Overall, Dixie did great. Like, she's my 13-year-old. She loved it. And we got to a point in the trail where there was like a ladder, basically. I have footage of that too. I'll have that going right now, but there was a ladder basically. And it looks in the video and the footage that I got, it doesn't look as steep as it was. It looks like stairs, but it was a ladder. Like, it was a ladder. It was hard for me to climb without using my hands. I had to use my hands to climb it. So my aunt, I told her, I said, wait here. I'm gonna climb this ladder and I'm gonna see, because I think there's a cave up there. Like, and there was a cave up there and I wanted to see it. I said, well, if the shepherds, because I had the shepherds and she had Wesley and Dixie, the two older ones. I said, if the shepherds can make it up this ladder and everything's fine, then we can see if Wesley and Dixie can make it up. So I get up the first ladder, because there's two. I get up the first ladder and I'm at a like standstill. There's like this much room, like literally like just enough room for me to stand in between the two ladders. And I feel a dog on me and I look behind me and Dixie is standing there right behind me. Like, she had just jumped up because she wanted to be with me. So I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this. So we went all the way up into the cave and it was beautiful. It was cool. Like, temperature wise, it was cool. Like, oh my God, it was just insane. So then after that, we came down off of the ladder and I think I got footage of like how high up we were from where we were standing so that they could get water. Then we continued on the trail and that was again about 2 miles, and we saw a chipmunk on that trail, which was super fun for me because I had never actually seen a real chipmunk. And I got some more footage of the falls. I took a cute picture with the dogs. Then this is where things get sticky. After we went to the Twin Falls, we decided that we would go to the Great Falls. Half of the trail that we were on for the Twin Falls, half of that trail was water. Like, we were walking through a creek for half of that trail, so it was strenuous. And so we're soaking wet, like our feet are wet, we're miserable, we're sweating our butts off. And we go to the Great Falls. Well, there was like the siren sounding saying that like it wasn't safe to swim. So we waited for a little bit and the siren went off, and then we decided that we would try and go on the trail. And every trail up until the Gorge Trail was marked incredibly well, to the point where I felt confident that even if I would never get lost. I would never get lost. I had no service on my phone, but I would never get lost. So we go into this trail, and so we get down the stairs, and then maybe like a 1/10 of a mile in, like maybe not even a 1/10 of a mile in, the trail just disappears. Like, you come up to this waterfall, which I have a picture, I have a video of the waterfall, but you come up to this waterfall and like the trail is like here, and then the trail just disappears. So Kimmy and I proceeded to wander around massive boulders, like boulders that were like 2 to 3 sizes bigger than me, with all 4 dogs, one of which being 13 and, you know, fat. Sorry, that's just the honest truth. She's fat. And my watch let me know that we got to 8 miles. And at that point, I was like, we're never finding the gorge. Like, we wandered around for probably an hour and a half. No gorge. Absolutely no gorge. We could not find it. And so that was infuriating to us. So after that, we decided to go. They said that they had like a little beach area that we could go to. So we go to the beach area, and at this point, everything that happens is comical because we got lost on the first one and we kept thinking that there was going to be water, and there was not water. So we get to the beach area and it is in like, I guess it was a lake, I'm not really sure, but it was like pee warm, like bath water warm water. And it was like, I mean, it was like river water, it was fresh water. It wasn't like super nasty looking, but it was so warm. Like, it was so disappointing because we were so hot. We were expecting, you know, this really, really great, cool, like waterfall feeling, like fresh spring feeling, and it just didn't happen. So we drove home. That was about 2 hours from my aunt's house. So we drove home after that, really disappointed. And me, myself included, and the dogs and my aunt, we were just completely destroyed for the rest of that day and all of the next day, to the point where we ate dinner I think at like 5 o'clock and then we went to bed at like 7. So that's that. None of the dogs really could move the next day. But then we just kind of vegged out. We went to Long Hunter a few more times, which was super fun. And I just let the dogs run around on my aunt's property. We did some like gardening work around there. And then we went to visit Colombia, which is where my family kind of grew up, and my family has a lot of history there. I want to say that we colonized it. I'm not exactly sure, but it's where Mule Day is. It's either my great-great or my great-great-great-grandfather actually started Mule Day, and my great-aunt was the first Mule Day princess, or Mule Day queen actually, and it was super cool. They actually honored her a few years back. Her name's Norma, and she's great. I love her. And so we went to visit Colombia, and that's actually when the puppies came into life, so that'll be story time for the next video. But all in all, it was a great trip, and I actually super enjoyed it. It was like mind-blowing. I had never seen a waterfall in person, and it was just so much fun. So I'm glad I got to spend time with my aunt and get to take the dogs on all of those adventures, because it's, I mean, some dogs just see their yard and their house. So with all of that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this footage, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. But if you liked this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. I would love to see you stick around, like I said. And if you didn't like this video, go ahead and hit the comments and tell me why, because I'm always here to grow. I don't want to make content that nobody wants to watch. So let me know what you'd like to see, and I will make it happen. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you later. Bye!